Hey, if y'all want to learn how to change out the front and rear shocks on a 2022 Subaru Outback Premium Edition, watch this and I'm going to get started on the rear. This procedure should be the same on the 2020 to 2023 year models. I'm going to do the rear shocks first and then move on to the front. First, remove the trunk mat and the two trim panels. You'll notice the two upper nuts for the shock mount. Need to remove the wheel. Jack up the Outback from this beefy plate right here where the bolt, that's where the jack is going to go. I'll tell you why in a minute. You'll notice the angle of this jack so it doesn't interfere with placing this jack stand in the slot on the body. Now that it's high enough, I'm going to lower the entire weight onto the jack stand slowly. Remove the wheel lug nuts with a 19mm. This is the lateral link. First thing we need to do is remove the stabilizer link with a 14mm. Shock absorber with a 14mm. Axle housing nut with a 17mm. Now I'm going to use this hydraulic jack to lift up on the bottom of this axle just to take the tension off of the bolts. There goes that one. I'm going to lower the hydraulic jack to get the shock bolt out. Just lower it all the way down. Take the tension off the spring. I'll stick a screwdriver in that hole just to make it easier to pull this bolt out. There we go. Now all we have left is the two 14mm nuts. Now lower the lateral link assembly and remove the shock absorber. Alright, let's look at the strut that I'm using here. This is called a Unity strut assembly and it comes off of Amazon. Now there's nowhere on here marked other than part numbers right here. You see 16291 and a 16292. Now the 16291 is the left rear, the 92 is the right rear, and you have to verify that by going to the Unity website and typing that part number in, and it'll tell you which is which. Now this all comes in a set, front and rear, and you got quick change. Got a little bit of instructions right there. On the top here, we got a warning label right there. It says, attention, compressed spring, danger, don't remove it. And then we've got a little tag down here. It says vehicle height may appear high after installation. Allow coil springs to settle. And then down here it says the top mount is on a bearing. Rotate for proper fitment if not aligned with the lower mount. I am going to have to rotate this one. You get the mounting plate, the bearing, the spring, and everything. You just basically a quick change. You don't have to replace anything on there. So there we have the new and old struts. Try to rotate them a little bit. You know, they don't completely line up with the plate down here on the bottom, so we have to turn this to make that line up. This set right here comes complete set front and rear quick change from Amazon for $280. That's shipped to my house. If you want to buy this at O'Reilly's, I didn't look at the other places like AutoZone and stuff like that, but if you want to buy this at O'Reilly's, they're about $211 a piece for one quick change, so you're going to end up spending over $900. The thing with O'Reilly is you get a limited lifetime warranty, but with these are only 1 year. So you can decide if you want to do this, if you want to use these, or pay the extra money to get a limited lifetime, or go OEM If you do go OEM, you're going to have to buy all these parts separately. The strut, the spring, the mounting plate, all of that separately. You may just want to just replace the strut and leave the springs and everything else the same. And you could just do that, but you'll have to take this apart with compressor and swap it out that way. And there is a nut underneath here. This bottom bolt hole should be aligned with the two studs. So we're going to turn this. A little bit more. And that looks pretty good right there. Okay, one thing to note, if you look on that old shock strut, there is some paint. The paint goes to the inside of the vehicle, so that is your correct orientation. If you look at the new strut, it does not have any paint on it. So you just match the two plates up on the bottom, and then I just put a little piece of masking tape on there to make sure I get that side pointing in. Okay, let's install the new rear shock absorber. We're going to start by taking off the nuts from the top. So up here we have our two mount holes for the top. We're going to place this up in there. Make sure our tape is pointed inside. All right, we're just going to pull down on this right there just to get that lined up in there. Put our nuts back on. Snug them down with a 15mm. You'll notice the new ones are 15, whereas the old one was 14. Now I'm going to go ahead and torque these to 22 foot-pounds. Going to install the nut back on here and just snug it up. And then I'm going to install the axle housing bolt, and I'm going to use this jack here to jack this arm up to help that align a little bit easier. Come in through the other side. And just move that around a little bit. Get that to come through. And I'm going to go ahead and snug this down. Not going to tighten anything up yet. I'll tell you why here in a minute. We'll leave everything loose. Okay, the last thing is going to be the stabilizer link. And I need to jack this on up a little bit further. Just to line up that hole. That looks pretty good. Good. Come in through the other side. And we're going to snug that down. So to torque all of these bolts in here that pivot, we need to put the vehicle at ride height. And I've got this hydraulic jack right underneath this axle housing with a wooden block there. And I'm going to jack this up until it just barely comes off of that jack stand, but the jack stand is going to stay there. First thing that we're going to torque is this shock absorber bolt, and that's going to be to 89 foot-pounds. Next is the lateral link housing bolt to 67 foot-pounds. These are both 17mm. Last is going to be the stabilizer link bolt to 28 foot-pounds, and that's 14mm. Now that I've got those torqued, I'm going to go ahead and lower this jack back down and make sure that my stand is still in place right here. And I'm going to move it back to where I had it originally. Reinstall the wheel and snug down the lug nuts. I'm going to torque these in a star pattern to 89 foot-pounds. I'm going to do the passenger side off camera. The procedure is exactly the same. Just remember, when you get done, put your 2 trim panels back in and your trunk mat, and you're done. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the front shocks. So I'm right behind the tire. I've come in with the jack at an angle, and I've got it on that plate just to jack it up temporarily so that I can get this jack stand. And then I'm going to remove that hydraulic jack. Remove the stabilizer nut with a 17mm. Coming right underneath this arm here, I'm going to jack this up because the stabilizer is under a little bit of tension. There we go. Next, I'm going to remove the brake bracket bolt with a 12mm. Next, I'm going to remove this wheel speed sensor wire from the bracket. I'm going to squeeze together on those 2 little smaller tabs. The top bolt right here is the camber bolt, the adjusting bolt. You can see on the strut there's a little hash mark on the strut itself, and then we have these little hash marks on the bolt. So we're going to mark that to line up with that hash mark on the strut. That way we can put it back in the same place when we get the new strut in. We'll go ahead and remove these 2 adjusting bolts with a 19mm. So as before, I'm going to go ahead and jack this up till I see the tension come up off of the bolts. There we go. That one comes right out. And if we notice right there, that is our camber bolt. We got a mark on it and a washer. Don't want to lose that washer. So next we need to remove these 3 nuts from the top of the shock with a 14mm. We're going to take it off of the steering knuckle. Don't know how well this is going to go. We're still attached by the axle on the back, so we don't want that to come out. It just came out pretty easily right there. If I can work this out. All right, and that wasn't bad at all. Just looking at the new and old strut, got the bracket. They're only going to go on one side, so you don't really have to worry about trying to figure out which part goes where. But everything looks pretty much the same. Brackets are lined up. Maybe a little bit difference on here. We got our mount for our stabilizer link. This is what the boot looks like. A little bit different that it's stepped down up there at the top. Over here on this one, you can see what the top of that one looks like underneath the boot. This is what the new strut looks like. We've got our warning about high energy spring. Comes with the new nuts. And I'm going to go ahead and remove those right now. On the front shocks, this paint was on the outside of the vehicle. Everything looks good. This is a Unity shock. Vehicle height may appear high after installation. Top mount is on a bearing. Rotate for proper fitment if it is not aligned with the lower mount. So we go ahead and install this strut. So I'm going to come in with the new strut. So I'm reaching down underneath, line up my bolts. Put my nuts on there to keep it from falling out. The new nuts are a 15mm. I'm gonna go ahead and snug them up, and then when I get done, I'm gonna torque them to 24 foot-pounds. As I figured, the bottom wasn't going to line up, so we need to align that. It says the top is on a bearing plate. So I'm going to go ahead, just stick a screwdriver in here and try this. Oh yeah, that just probably could have just did that with my hand. So easy to turn there. Install the sensor wire back into the bracket. So now I'm going to go ahead and line this knuckle back up with this strut. Reinstall this brake hose bracket. And I'm going to torque that to 25 foot-pounds with a 12 millimeter. Put our other bolt in. And when you put your upper one on, don't forget the washer. There's a washer in there for that one. So we need to put the stabilizer link back in, and what I did was I put this jack underneath the ball joint with a little wood block, and I jack it up so that that will go right in like that. We got the nut. I'm going to thread that on there. Now this thing spins, and what you got to use is a 6 millimeter hex on the end here. I'm going to stick that 6 millimeter in there. Get our wrench, and we've got to hold that so that it doesn't spin while we tighten this. And it's just going to take a little while. Be nice to have a ratchet wrench for this right here. Super nice, but I don't have one, and I don't know why. So I got my jack underneath the ball joint with a wood block. I'm going to jack it up because this needs to be at right height to torque all of the pivot bolts and everything. So I'm going to jack it up just enough so it just barely comes off of that jack stand, but the jack stand is going to stay there for safety. Much to my surprise, the new strut did not have an alignment mark on it, but it was where I made the mark on the bolt was approximately 0 degrees or north. So I'm just going to leave it there. It's going to be close till I get a front end alignment. And we'll start out with this adjusting bolt first. Just go ahead and snug it down. Make sure the bolt doesn't move. Then we're going to torque it to 115 foot-pounds. And we're going to do the lower bolt. And this one is 115 foot-pounds also. Stenching on there just to give me a little more clearance. And we don't really have to worry about that bolt on the bottom. It's not moving anyway. So the torque on this is 45 foot-pounds. I am not going to torque this because I don't feel like breaking out no crow's foot and doing a conversion. I'm just gonna tighten it down. Now I'm going to put the tire back on, get the jack stand out of there, lower it down. Then we're going to torque the lug nuts to 88 foot-pounds. Alright guys, that is going to do it for the front and rear shocks on this 2022 Subaru Outback Premium Edition. When you do the front shocks, just know you got to get a front end alignment done. Just make sure you get that done. And if you found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. God bless.